sorry, not sorry. We're the team to beat. Step aside, sunshine, feel the heat. Your coach is a banger, we're on repeat. Sorry, not sorry. We're the team to beat.
Welcome to the Warehouse 15. We had an error or a glitch. It's been a troubling morning this morning. We had to have a morning prayer and we had to show the moon of Arizona to most of the people on the phone. And so we are back, and it is a spiritual place. The deserts of Arizona looks a lot like Colorado Springs, where we spent a lot of time honing our ability to understand each other and do taekwondo. But I am joined by my two brothers, the captain and the generals of Sorry Not Sorry. Good morning, Mr. TJ. What do you got?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm always good, always good. How about you, Coach Moreno?
Good, I'm good. I like a little traumatized from our morning sunrise, sunset, moon, whatever it was. I'm not quite sure,
That was a
but
rough one.
I'm
Sometimes
about
you,
to call Warehouse 15 HR to get some
sometimes you got to
support.
start it off with something to wake people up. You know, there's that joke. I think, what was it? Would you rather pull on the bunny's ears or the elephant's nose? Do you remember the elephant's trunk? Kiss the
I
bunny's,
do,
kiss
I
the
do.
bunny's nose, or
Ta-da! It's magic. Hey, speaking of sorry, not sorry, it's funny. It's so cool. Like when you walk around, like some of these events and stuff like that, among Taekwondo people, and they're like, "Hey, sorry, not sorry." They all kind of throw out the tagline to us. I'm like, that's pretty cool. People are listening and stuff, so it's pretty funny. I don't know if you've got a few of those, TJ. I'm sure.
I got a couple of them. It's always fun. It's always a statement and then hashtag sorry, not sorry. That's just how people talk to me now.
Yeah. There you go.
well, this was the
Good stuff.
brainchild of both of you. So I'm glad that we decided to do this and be Taekwondo specific. I had gone in a different direction. I was having some very serious conversations with serious people. Now we have the three most. I actually told Dr. Schiller about this. I said, yeah, we have this podcast where three Olympians talk about the state of affairs in our sport. So I had interviewed him in one of my podcasts a long time ago. So he might become a frequent flyer, first time listener, long time subscriber. So we'll see.
That'd be cool. Listen, it's funny because I said at the end of last show that I thought quite a bit about this because we've been doing this for a little bit now, and we bring up some pretty hot topics and stuff like that, and I think it was well intended. And some people take it the right way, some people take it the wrong way, but I think I had a private conversation with both of you guys. I want to be a voice. I want to be a voice to for the people that can't speak up or don't want to speak up for fear of retribution, whether it's politically or financially or whatever the case may be, because I feel like there's a bunch of sheep out there, and they could be led in a different direction, and if something was going perfectly right, then I really wouldn't have much to say. But I don't want to lose that that focus, for this podcast right now until it gets better. If it gets better, we move on to the next thing, right now, so I don't know. I'm just kind of talking. We're gonna get into some topics a little bit later, and I think it'll be, again, another come to Jesus type of conversation, and hopefully it'll make a difference for some people. I don't know.
So I think that's what takes the courage. I do have to ask one question before we start. I'm noticing that your background is very lit and nice and whatever. In my background, I'm in a hotel, it is. But TJ, you look like you're in the Love Boat or something, like the Love, but I feel like you're Dr. Love.
I had to.
Like, well, what time is it? Is it like 12 p.m. at night or something, or 12 a.m. in the morning? It's like
it's a very dark gray area.
Is this where you go like to meditate?
This is the calming room.
This is the calming room.
Yes.
All right, let me see if I can.
Go sit down. Don't stand up. TJ, you got a glow. You got that red glow on you. You look like you're like, wow, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, I'm waiting for him. I think it's like Jungle Fever, the movie. I'm waiting for him to go. This is Dr. Love. This is Love.
Oh, good.
We're gonna play some tunes from Marvin Gaye. It's gonna be a long time.
Oh my God.
All right, brothers, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. What we got?
All right.
I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday or the other day, and we didn't really know how it was going to look. But I want to start off with the overall, overall thoughts on the level, at the under 21 World Championships. I mean, I watched most of the people that I know, whether it's from this country, from another country, try to watch their matches, and then if they moved on and continued with them, if they didn't, kind of watch the people that they lost to. And I don't know. I mean, my first stab at it is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just being real. Keeping 100 is I'm unimpressed. I'm really unimpressed. I was really expecting some wild. I mean, because I know the Junior World Championships can get wild. These kids are like out there slinging. And I thought, man, there's going to be like one step up before they kind of calm down at the senior level, right? Where you get a little bit more sophisticated, more step by step kind of game plan. And once in a while, there's a wild match. But I just thought there was going to be a bunch of kids throwing havoc to the wind, and it was not that. I mean, I actually saw like some. I mean, you're going to love this, Young. I saw some bad fights, some bad taekwondo. I saw a lot of like boring matches and just like not a lot of like a lot of there was a couple. We'll talk about some athletes later, but generally speaking, I was a little unimpressed. I don't know what you think, TJ. What your initial
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah. The matches I watched, I mean, I'm the same as you. I don't think it was almost a glorified junior level with me, if I'm being quite honest with you. There wasn't really a lot going on. I mean, there's obviously you got your couple standout people and countries and athletes in certain situations, but it just felt a little bit low level to be the under 21 world championships. And I don't know if that had to do with the placement of where it was on the calendar, like we were talking about before, like how late in the year it was or what, but just across the board, like I would say a little underwhelming.
I
Definitely,
think
you have some divisions going to quarterfinal, second match for under 21
that's
world
crazy.
championship. Like that's just the
That's
second match
crazy.
can't be court. I know. Like so, I just think the participation is maybe too low, but also, like I said, I told Coach Moreno earlier, I'm like, man, this is what the grandmaster be talking about sometimes right here, because you watch it and you're like waiting for something to happen or anticipation of like a style or like an exertion or a push or something. It just looks like a lot of people are just kicking and hope it scores. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say. I mean, let me say that, you know, first and foremost, the participation level. Like when you have a bye and your second fight is in the quarterfinal, that's ridiculous. That like I can't imagine winning two matches and knowing that you're in the bronze medal match. Not at a world championship level. Maybe an open, maybe a Pan Am, maybe African, maybe a European, maybe an Asian, whatever. But come on, that's
We wouldn't even
just
say that
that.
before at the open. We wouldn't even say that before at
No
the open. We've
way.
just
That's
this is a new
crazy.
age. This is a new age level of acceptance of going to a
Yeah.
tournament and fighting one fight in quarters and then being in the semifinals. Like
I
it's
also think that
crazy.
I also think that it seems like not a lot of people took this serious. I mean, Iran men look like they took it serious. The Turkish overall look like they took it serious. And then there's a couple pockets here and there, but Italy's not here. There's not a big Serbian contingent. There's not a big Croatian contingent. The Spanish team doesn't look that great. Like none of the big European countries and Asia. I mean, you got Korea didn't even have a minus 58. Like that's
That
crazy. A
was
flyweight.
crazy.
Like there's not even a flyweight there. So, and in their women's side is, pretty weak. I don't think they won a gold medal. Did they win a gold medal? I don't know, but it's definitely not overwhelming. So it's a little straight. No China, no Thailand, no Philippines. Now they do have the Sea Games over there. Actually, I think this week as well. That's big for them. It's kind of like the Central American Games or South American Games, so it's kind of big over there. But just generally speaking, I think the numbers are small. The level is nowhere near as high as I had anticipated. And I'm going to say one more thing. I think that, it's going to take maybe one or two of these for people to take it serious, to kind of figure it out and say it's important.
I think you made a good point earlier, though. I think for what it is, I don't know if it's a country selection thing, but I don't think you should have the same person fighting the world championships and fighting the under 21. I don't know if it's same year, same whatever, but if the overall goal of the organization is creating these events to push growth, right? I would assume that's why you create an under 21. Um, I don't think they gotta not allow world champions and people that have fought at the world championships to fight the under 21. They're within the same calendar
Certainly,
year. Let's say that.
certainly not medalist. Like if you're going from here, if it's a developmental stage, that's what cadet, junior, under 21 is developmental to the world championships and to the Olympic Games. No one should be able to go back. I mean, there's three world champions that are fighting in this event. One, 58 from Korea, from Iran, demolished everybody. Like
That wasn't even close. That was
demolished everybody.
ugly.
And tomorrow there's two. There's a Tunisian girl that won the junior world championships. Then she won the senior world championships, and now she's fighting here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that she's gonna smoke this field like with no problem. And then the Brazil kid Henrique is actually fighting here, but he is, to his credit, he's fighting a heavier weight. He's not fighting 80. If he would have fought 80 the other day, oh, that 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 was not
Who
a
won
good
80?
division.
Who won 80? Who ended up winning 80?
Oh my gosh, my brains. Let me think about it for a second. Oh my gosh, why can't I think? I was USA. Was it Spain beat USA? Oh, Iran. Iran beat Iran beat
I didn't watch that final yet.
Spain. I'm
Oh,
almost
okay.
positive. Yeah, I'm almost sure. So anyway, I just think it's going to take a couple, countries to, a little bit to take it serious. And you're right. I mentioned that. I think at the end of the year, after the World Championships, in December, I think the timing of it is just kind of like federations have, used their budget and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, kind of talking like that, like the outstanding athletes. I saw, I wrote down a note. I just saw it this morning. So what was today? Today was 67. Today 67. Today was 67.
67. Yeah.
Yeah, six, seven.
6'7",
Did I say
6'7".
that? My Camila would have loved it.
Jesus.
No, I saw this Russian girl do like this, like cut up out to the face. She got a cut to the face, and she jumped and did the other leg to the face. I was like, for a welterweight girl, I was kind of impressed by that. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, the Iranian 58. I mean, it's not even fair. I mean, this guy beats people like they stole their lunch money, man. His boy ain't taking.
His
He ain't
coach,
playing.
his coach looked bored in the chair. Like, why am I here? He could have been anywhere else in the world, but sit in that chair. It wouldn't have made a difference.
That boy looked like he had gambling debts. He's like, yo, I gotta get this shit paid off. He's like, because it wasn't enough. He's like, go, and he would hit him, boom. He was like nasty.
It wasn't even close. Not like
Did
it
you
was
see
crazy.
that little 49 girl from Russia, the one that came out at the Grand Prix Challenge? She won. She won a gold medal. She's nasty too. So, and I think tomorrow, like I said, Henrique and the Tunisian girls. I mean, for me, they're pretty darn good. But I mean, we'll see on paper. I know my guy's got he's got Turkey first match, Russia second match, and probably Iran in the quarterfinal. So that's.
But I don't know why I like that though, and especially because it's an 87 too. I think it's just like it's okay. I don't know. After seeing the bracket, it's okay. You know what I mean? It just the hard, like the good way. Get a little bit of more work in. That's cool. That's cool.
So the U.S. had 2 medals already. I think was pretty cool. I mean, we had a surprise in the 80, I think, because I don't think many people. I mean, the athlete's pretty good, but it all depends on the draw. And he had a very good draw. He lost to Spain in the semis, in the third round. So I mean, he was kind of close. His first couple matches, he had same thing bye in 2 matches to get into the semifinal, which is kind of like. I mean, when you look at I'm always a numbers guy. Okay, you were 2-1 in your third best in the world. Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that really says, And then Victor, I want to talk about Victor, TJ. Young, I talked about this kid before. I said he's a young kid. He fights 74, which is one below the 80. And he fought in some of the Grand Prix. He's done pretty well. But he got here and he fought Iran in the semis. He fought probably a good first round. I think it turned out to be 7-7. He was winning and took a couple deductions, and the guy actually kind of caught up. But anyway, he won 7-7 on superiority. But comes out the second round against Iran, and it was 8-1, easy, like with no resistance. The 1 point was from a deduction that the Iranian guy took. Very easy, very controlled. And the third round, going, it's 1 round apiece, is 14-1, 14-0, and he takes a deduction just to finish the clock. And so I'm like, what happened from being up 7-2 and have this guy make a comeback and tie it, 7-7, but you win, to, for all practical purposes, 8-0, 14-0. Did you watch the match, TJ?
I did. Like I said, the only part I missed, I have to go back and watch half of the first round, but I did see the score of 7-7. I watched the second and third round. for what I've seen from him in the past, I feel like in that fight he never got going. You know what I mean? After the second round, when the second round started, he just never got going really. I know he's a special kid. He does some stuff and he creates a lot of opportunity through some things that he does. And I just feel like there was no, he went away from that for whatever lack of a better reason was. He went away from that a little bit. And I think that because when I saw the Iran kid in the second round, I wasn't convinced that this guy had enough for him. You know, it didn't look like he should have enough for him. Because I've seen Victor overwhelm some people, hit some people, knock him out of bounds, kind of tough him a little bit and find his way through. But there was once the separation started, there was no change in gear, no big shots, a couple big shots at the end, but like just in trash time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. When I watched the first round, it seemed like the Iranian guy took a little time to get started, and once he got started, he scored pretty easily. And then, but it almost seemed like he was kind of thrown off, like he just didn't know how to figure him out. Just kind of like it's kind of strange, and he didn't have enough time, and he lost that first round. But in the second round, his tempo, his distance, his twist kicks, I mean, it was just methodical. Like I watched. I'm gonna say it was 5 in a row. Touch, 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 touch. And the 6-1, he finally got the point. But I was like, that's a lot. Every time he kicked, there was a touch. It didn't score, but it registered on the scoreboard. I'm like, man, this guy's getting like 6, 5, 6, 7 touches, before he scores. I'm like, that's wild. So he won that second round, and I feel like he totally figured him out. And I expected, Victor, because he's a gamer. I think he likes to fight. He's creative. Like he's a little scrappy, but I think you're right, TJ. It seemed like he played the Iranian style, kind of like that flippy, floppy kind of distance instead of his explosion type stuff. Because he hits people with clean cuts,
get into his
clean up. Yeah,
he didn't get into his space enough. I felt like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it was just out of time. Yeah,
piece by piece.
and what?
I don't know. I still wasn't convinced that Iranian guy was that good though. Like I didn't. It took me to the third round to go, oh, he's hitting them a lot more than I thought. You know what I mean? In the spacing coming forward, in between, afterwards, that type of stuff. But I think it took me to about the third round to kind of see it. But I think, to me, he looked a little tired, just a little bit.
The Iranian guy certainly wasn't overwhelming, but his efficiency was pretty good. And he just looked like he was on cruise control. He didn't look like he was bothered by anything. Nothing that was coming at him he seemed like, which again, this is surprising to me because I just thought
I had Victor winning though.
Yeah.
I had Victor in the finals. Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
I had two people that I thought would win on the men's side, and one was fighting tomorrow, and one is fought today. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a bad drop or if it's a tough match or what. But I had him winning. He's had enough. Quarterfinals at World Championships. Get into the semifinals and Grand Prix challenges. Winning a lot of European Opens. I thought that he was actually built for this event, especially with the size of it.
I think he's better. Again, I know. Obviously, we talk medals and results, but at the division, to me, he's better than the field. You know what I mean? At that event, in this situation, he's better. He was better than the field. And that's because you said I've seen him perform in some other moments too. A little bit bigger, a lot harder. So
let me ask you this, Young. I'll pose this question to you. So you guys know how I feel about medals. I'm more of a performance guy. But what do we say about when any athlete, for that matter, doesn't pass the test? They get to the semifinal, they run into a tough fighter, and they don't pass the test. And I know you had to get to the semifinals, but let's call it what it is. If it was an easy draw or you were just better and you won those matches, I don't think that's the measuring stick, right? The measuring stick is when you get to people your level, maybe people a little bit better than you. Can you take that next step? And I don't know. I'm going to ask. Do some of the domestic players here in this country, do they rely or do they need good draws to get to the semifinal and get that bronze medal, silver medal? Do we know? Can we talk about some that say, hey, this guy beat this really tough gamer in the second fight and then beat this guy in the quarterfinal? You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. What if your bracket was Iran, Russia, Korea before you got to the semifinals? What do you think, Young?
Yeah.
So I mean, we've always had that mentality. Um, at least the U.S. had it for a long time, which was you got to beat them at some point, right? So if you have a draw where you have the toughest guy up front, back, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You're going to have to beat them at some point. So I don't think that we ever hoped for an easy draw, and in fact, I think we preferred not to have an easy draw for a bunch of reasons. If you're going to beat somebody, it's sometimes better to beat them early before they get their confidence up or before they get their game on. As far as what does that speak to the method, and without slamming any particular country in general, if you're making medal performers and gold medal performers, then your mindset has to be that of a medal performer. So you're not as worried about who you have to play or fight first. You're worried about how do I get through my day without getting injured and have enough energy to get through the day to do what I need to do technically. And I think that's something that's taught. And if it's not taught, if all you ever do in most sports, they play situational drills. So if you look at football, they do the last 10-yard drill, the red zone drill. You need the 2 yards and it's fourth down, whatever. So they work on these scenarios. If all you do in general is just work on training and winning in what particular scenario, that's just not how the game works. It's not how the game has ever worked, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I'd have to go back and think about it. Most of my competition career, the Korean was on the other side of the pool from me. He was always on the bronze medal side with me, or on the gold medal side with me. And the other countries I'd have to think about, but the sole exception to that are like Olympics and Pan Ams because the field is just smaller, right? And you get those guys earlier. But the mentality was different in the sense that we respect performance, but at the end of the day, if you can't close the loop on it and you're happy to be a bronze medalist, you can have the best performance in the world, but you still haven't opened that particular piece of the puzzle. You're not a one percenter. And that's just cultural. And I mean, I got to be honest. I can remember times when we won gold medals and we came home and nobody cared. Nobody celebrated it, right? It was expected, for the next tournament, whatever it was. Does that make any sense?
A little bit. I understand what you're saying. So I think because of the way it is, and because now like there is a lot more competitions and a lot more medals being handed out, right? Whether it's international, Pan Am region, Olympic level, world level, whatever you want. I think there's certain tournaments that are important for certain people at certain times.
Mm.
Where they are in their career. Like because there could be a person that goes and gets a bronze medal or a silver medal at under 21, and it's like where they are in their level. You're like that's a step up or that's a in the right direction. And then you have people that are above the line of the under 21 level, and it's time that like there's really no other option but go win.
Yeah. Good point.
The only victory in that situation is to win because you are the guy. You are what's next. You are ahead of the field. You are running deep in the higher world level tournaments. You are. That one you have to win. I think
You're
personally.
right. That's a good point. I mean, listen, it's yeah, and there's a couple of people you could see. I mean, I know there was a Turkish girl that she got to the final. She lost the final, but she was a world championship medalist, and she got to the final. This one that was I think a step up. There was we had a Brazil kid, 17 years old, 17, and he gets a bronze medal. He loses to the Iranian. There's no shame in that. You know what I'm saying? But he beat USA. On the way there, a 17-year-old kid gets it done to get a medal. So I think those are situations where those are kind of like you said, TJ, like stepping stones. But other ones
But
that are supposed to be
that's our real 58 national team member.
no,
That's
that's
not
not
our
good for
B
them.
spot.
But I'm talking about for this kid, it was so the
Oh yeah,
opposite,
no, I
right? It's
understand
the
what.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I was just talking about like I think that's a must win in 58 too.
for sure.
He's got. I know it's he lost a last second match, but those are big moments. So I think it does depend on where you are in
No,
your
that wasn't the
career
last
or
second match.
the
He got
the one
beat two. Is it
the
Brazil boy?
quarterfinals. The
No, it
quarterfinals.
was it
Oh,
was
was it?
clean,
You're
man.
right.
He's
You're
got
right. You're right. You're right.
yeah.
But
That was
anyways,
not even close.
my point is some of those guys are A squads. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think we've seen that. I can go back a long time, and there's some people that have gotten some medals on the world championship level even that have had like good draws, and they get to the semifinals and they fight Serbia or Korea or someone's pretty good, and it's not even competitive. It's kind of, it's they're gone. And so that's why I was saying performance versus results is sometimes a little bit shaky. But I just feel like, when I see like some of these big countries, they're built for these, like you said, Young, getting the worst draw early. I mean, they're not even phased. I look at Turkey and Iran. Turkey and Iran fought in the quarterfinal, and it was a battle in '63. It was nasty. One had to take it. You know what I'm saying? And I can literally say whoever won that. Actually, the Turkish kid won the gold medal. If the Iranian kid would have won, he would have won a gold medal. It was like, but these guys went at it. But I didn't feel like they were like the Turkish guy went there and beat up the Iranian, and you say, the Iranian guy wasn't really that good. He had a good draw, but as soon as he fought somebody good, he couldn't handle it. No, it was a nasty fight. But I'm seeing like maybe some of our athletes are not that. I don't know if they're not that experienced strong. They're not that mentally strong. They don't have the character to do it. But something is off. Something is off because we're dropping those tough matches.
That's that's a culture, right? So you got to go back to the culture right now. What's the culture? What's the culture of the training? What's the culture of the athlete? What's the expectation of the coach and the organization? So if you're, I'll go back to a soccer analogy. If you're the only hope and you're one of two guys and you're the better by far, you're going to start every game and you're going to play full 90s because they don't have a choice. And regardless of your performance, you're going to continue to play until they build somebody better. And that's one example of culture, right? A true culture is if you're not performing, you either fix that with the athlete or the organization, or you move them on and you get somebody else in that spot. You start doing what they call pipeline unblocking. And you take that athlete and you put them in a performance. But if you don't have a culture that values that, let's be clear about competitive sport. It's ugly. There's nothing nice about it. They should be treating these athletes like they're professionals, which means win or go home. In other words, if you're not winning and we give you X amount of time and we've set markers for you and you're not making any demonstrable progress, then we need to move on and find somebody else that can. Now that's going to be the rest of your life, whether you're, the guy at Target packing the bags so that people can take their groceries home, or you're the guy at Starbucks serving the coffee, or the CEO of a major sport corporation. You're in a competitive sport. We're not here to like you. We're here to see your performance and help you, give you what you need, tell us what you need, and then you need to perform. But if the culture of the coaches and the culture of the organization doesn't demand performance, then that's what you end up with.
I would say that I agree with you, TJ. Some medals are good medals for people. You know what I'm saying? Some are, and at the right time and stuff like that. But I do think that this culture of I'm in the semis, I got a medal. Like I think that's a settlement. I mean, I
That
literally
happened. That happened with the points. I was talking to. I think I was talking to James. I was talking to James, and I was talking to James, and he said it's when the points. So he was like talking when the points switch. Like we never fought. Obviously, you never fought for third place. You never went and said.
yeah
You never would say I won third, or I
third.
won fourth, or I won fifth, I
No
won sixth. You
way.
never say one. You
No
would say
way.
I lost in the semifinals. You know what I mean? It was okay day, but now I
Yeah, and
think
you
it
lost in
is
the
very
semifinals.
celebrated.
It was you lost in the semifinals. Is understood. You got third place, right? You didn't say I got third. You're right. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
you know, and it is a cultural thing, and I think it started with the points being such a big deal. I think that they go to one bronze medal. I think we're at that
I
point
was
in
just
that
going to
sport we
ask you
go
that.
one bronze medal.
That
We
would
do
change a
you
lot
do the repechage system or the Grand Prix challenge system they were doing for
because
that
the
for forever.
a bronze medal would be a true bronze medal, number one, and it would mean that you had to fight for it. Like instead of you won your last match, right? You didn't. I lost my last match and I got a bronze. It's a weird thing, but I think that would be. It's like at the Olympics. I know you don't love it, Young, but when people they always say that the gold medalist is super happy and the bronze medalist is super happy because they won their last matches. The silver medalist is the most. You're like, I was so close, but I lost. It's a weird. You look at the podium, most of the time the silver medalist is the one that's not happy, But I think in these opens and stuff like that, in the world championships, I think you almost have to go to that because people are getting these good draws and they're dropping these matches. And if they're truly third best in the world, prove it. Go fight off. Go win that last match. I think that would be
or
really,
go to unranked opens. Like let's not rank opens. Like do I like the random draw? I think that again for the points of opens, I think random draw would be okay. If you want to rank the world championships, you want to rank the ones that should be ranked, but opens maybe they should be unranked.
yeah, yeah.
You get tougher matches early. You get the right matches, or you don't get the right matches. But it's at least that day you're dealing with whatever the bracket is. I always
I
thought
would
that's what
say,
made us. I used to like that part about our sport. Like you just had to be prepared for whatever. You wake up in the
yeah,
morning, like you were just saying. Sometimes you got to go fight the beast early, and you're ready to
yeah,
go do it. And sometimes you got a little bit of a wiggle room. But now it's so predictable, and even with the point changing and the point deductions and all that stuff, you're looking at ranking system that doesn't really reflect where we are.
yeah. I mean, to that point, I'll say that maybe you know, G. I always tell everybody when we're trying to calculate points and how you're going to get to the Olympic Games, you need this many points. You'll probably be in the top 6 or top 5, blah blah blah. But like right now, I go, it's a given. All the best players are going to get their 40 open points, but it's not because they're good enough to get it. It's just because there's so many tournaments. You could piece it together here: a third place here, a first place there, a third place here, a third place there, a second place. Okay, I got my 40. But if it was two things. Number one, if it wasn't ranked in the G1s, maybe. And if you had a limit, you only get 4 G1s. You only get 2 G2s. You only get 1 President's Cup, of course. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Now, those 40 points would not be guaranteed. It's almost a guarantee right now. You know what I'm saying? You'll find some opens to get your points. So,
Obviously, they'll never do it because I know it's a money thing too, and the more tournaments you got, the more money you make. But like I know we said a long time ago. At some point, we got to get some kind of season, something where it's these 4 this year, these 4 this year, and like I don't know if it's A level, B level, C level. Break it up how you got to do it. Sit in a room, figure it out. But something where you got to go to these 4 opens, these 2 opens, this championship, and you kind of go through that, and you'll get a real ranking because you'll
yeah.
be forced in a situation where you're fighting the top people.
Just kind of going back to like the athletes and who can beat who and stuff like that. Just because there is a potential matchup like for CJ and Victor in the future. I mean, we're 2 years out. I mean, the points are going to be reset. Just because I'm watching the World Championships, I watched the Grand Prix Challenge, which they both were at, and then this match, right in particular here. Do you think that? Do you think Victor's a threat to CJ?
I don't know. Our selection procedure has 5,000 tournaments on it. So when it comes to threat, you're assuming that we're going to have a fight off in that division, which I would probably guess to my liking, unliking that it'll be figured out where there's no fight off. But if there is a fight
Uh,
off, I think it is a little bit scary. I think if
yeah,
it goes to true ranking, it could be even scary. We know 74 is a little bit lighter than 80, but they both fall in the Olympic 80 category. So it's a little easier to go right off 74 points than there's 80 points. So depending on where they both fall, how they perform. But I mean, I know we talked about it before, but it's all the way down to who you fight, where you fight on, what tournament it is, who was there, that they're allowed to move the Richter scale on of what direction we go as far as selection. So for me, I understand your point. And if a true
yeah.
fight off situation, I think it could be a little interesting.
I do too, to be honest with you, because I just think at this stage in Victor's development, I mean, this fight I didn't like. This fight kind of threw me off a little bit. I don't know if it's like not a normal situation because I've seen him fight Kazakhstan and Russia and really be, I'm gonna use the word creative. Like you would like him because it's not just physical. It's like he's tricky, and then he'll do like real taekwondo. It's something, and all of a sudden he gets on you. So he has in my opinion, for his age, a very mature game in the sense of he can blend like some weird wiki-walkie stuff that you say, but I think his majority is hard taekwondo, cuts, fast kicks, up outs, panachogis, doubles, back kicks, spin, axe kick. Like he's pretty creative and different country to normally that's how he fights, and then he adds in the stuff, the tricky things when you don't expect it. But this match, I felt like he was doing the little not his true style. He was kind of hanging things and kind of flopping things versus like, bumping people off the line and kind of using his kind of old school
Yeah.
taekwondo, if you will.
Where's he
Yeah,
from?
that's
I think he's gonna.
Where's he from?
He's from Florida. His father is a Brazilian,
Mm,
and his mother, and he lives up north, like in the Fort Lauderdale area. So he trains with his dad. I think he's part of the academy now. I'm not sure if he's going to live there or not. I don't think he should. I think he's doing pretty well with his dad. He spends a lot of time in Europe, and his Europe is his like our Korea. Like we'd go to Korea. You were at Hanguk Chede all the time. I went to Dongsan High School in Yongin, and then kind of sprinkled in. But Hanguk Chede was your go-to. You knew the people, they knew you, you knew the coach, and you're almost like a part of that fraternity. And
yeah.
he works with his group in Spain, and he goes there and same thing. He's got not a home, but like a home base of training partners that he goes there from time to time, and then he comes back home and works with his father in their gym. So I think that's working. I don't know why I would change it, but we've talked about that before with a lot of other people. So um, but I do like that fight out for third place, TJ. Kind of going to that. So
I think we're there for most tournaments.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask because maybe this is after the fact after we're talking stuff. I gotta ask about because I've said this before. I remember when I talked about USAT stuff and I talked about AU stuff, and when USAT was bad, I criticized them. When AU was bad, I had to do the same thing. I couldn't be nice, even though I tend to like those guys and tend to work with those guys. I had to kind of be a little blunt with my assessment, on some of their things, nationals and team trials of last year. Um, we're going to talk about this staff, this staff that was put together for the American squad. Thoughts? You want me to
Who
start?
was it? Who was it?
It was I don't know who's the head coach or not. I'm assuming it's Steve Lambton, who's one of the three coaches that coach for the World Championships. It was Nikki Oliver. It was um, Lucas Rodriguez, Mr. Rodriguez, and it was Hansel from I don't even know Hansel's last name. What's his last name? TJ, you know? I don't
I'm
know.
bad at pronouncing it. He's from
Yeah,
Texas. He's on a national team a bunch of times in middleweight for the U.S. I've actually coached him a couple times internationally. I think I coached him at the World Championships.
yeah. So um, I guess I'll lead out like my question is, because I don't know the transparency of it. I don't know. I mean, are we merit based or are we um, best option based? And I'm not really for either one of them because I'm gonna use myself. Let's say I have nobody on the national team, but I have a lot of experience. I've worked with people. Like, would I be useful on the national team? I think I would. I think most people would agree. But I can also understand if somebody has 3 or 4 people on the national team, you know what? They should probably serve as part of that staff. I get it. But like I'm not sure what this organization is doing because if I'm not mistaken, 2 out of the 4 people had 0 people on the team. So I don't know what that says to people that have people on the team or had people on the team because the tournament's almost over. Like, should they have been there? Should they not have been there? Could they have done a better job? Would they have interacted? Um, are those people, since they don't have anybody on the team, are they absolutely the best qualified in the best interest of the athletes that were there? I'm gonna stop there and see what you guys have to say, and I'll definitely add in my perspective. Anybody?
I I'm gonna leapfrog a little bit. So last week they put out an application for who was interested in being the coaches for 2026. I need to go through this
For what?
for national team stuff, USAT national team coaching stuff.
Gotcha.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it was like a 1-page survey type thing. Have you your name, your USAT number, your WT number? Have you ever coached for a team? Blah 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 blah.
Online?
This was online, like a little form you clicked in. Yeah.
Google
What
Forms.
teams
Gotcha.
what team you served on? What else did it ask? Are you interested in being a part of the monthly? Are you a part of the monthly coaching calls? Yes or no? Are you interested in being a part of monthly coaching calls? Yes or no? And I filled the whole
So
thing
you
out.
apply for
Obviously,
Augie? Okay.
Yeah, I applied for it. I applied for it, and
As you should.
I've got I should, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I should. So I did, and then, like I said, I did last year too. Just like to sit around and just put my name in a hat, just to remember that I actually do this sport for real. Um, there's been emails sent out adding people to this conversation monthly. I can't get a email to attend a conversation. So my opinion on the coaching staff and how they got there, who they talked to, it's not merit based. It's not, what was the second one you used? Result based. It's none of that. It's just like you said, they're literally doing whatever they want. Can you imagine that? I'm sure there's other people's names not on that list, but can you imagine that? I can't even be a part of the conversation. We can't even
Hold
be a
on,
part
time
of the
out.
conversation.
What do you mean you're not part of the conversation?
So apparently, I have a monthly coaching call with all the
Yes.
a bunch of U.S. coaches on it. I've seen the list of people, and there's a bunch of people on
Okay.
there. There's
Okay.
also a lot of people that are not on there. And this is just a call where they say that they're going over their high performance plans and what their plans are and what direction they're going and all these things. This just seems like general information, right? Not some
Yeah.
private coaching meeting that's happening, but you have to get an invite to this thing and they have to allow you to come listen to them. This has nothing to do with selection of staff or anything like that. Just to even be a
Right.
part of a monthly conversation. So we're at the point where, I mean, again, I hate to say it, but how does how are we having people go coach at events that they've never coached at, or just all of a sudden Hansel's on the coaching squad?
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, I think he was a trainer at one of the cadet or junior tournaments in Mexico, right?
I think so. I don't know.
So yeah, I believe so. And then now we're coaching at under 21 with no regard to anybody or anything else. Obviously, the easy thing is, oh, I talk shit about them or I'm this, I'm this. You said this to me last week. We always gotta go back to where this whole thing started. They've blocked out an entire group of coaches. An entire group of coaches blocked out. It's not even just about me. It's easy because I'm firsthand experiencing it. But there's a bunch of coaches not on that list. You can't be a part of the conversation.
But so you filled this Google Doc thing, and you said yes, I would like to be on the call, and they never added you to the list, and they added other
No.
people that you know
Yes.
that did the same thing, same time. It wasn't like
Yes.
they were on from before or whatever.
No.
That's crazy. That's
Brand new
crazy. See,
emails.
so is that personal? Is that it was it was a misstep. We did. Yeah, I get you, TJ. I mean, that's wrong. Like you can't even get on the call, and then they wonder why we get to these trips, and that's what I'm saying. Like
And they make you
again,
say things about people that I like Hansel. Like I said, I've known him for a long time. I've been able to work with him
he's a
as being a
good
part of the
guy.
national team. Yeah, I've been a part of the national team with him as an athlete. I've actually coached him at, like I said, big events and world championship events. So it's not even about that. It's just how do we get there? How does that happen?
But
And
that's
I've been
honestly
told. Go ahead. No,
no
I've
go
been
ahead.
told after I've coached at Grand Prix events and gotten Grand Prix gold medals and ran deep in the tournaments that I couldn't be a part of certain staffs because I wasn't ready to coach people, even though I actually had athletes on the team. So that's to your point of both. I had people on the team and I had already proven the capability of coaching at a level and this was still not an
Yeah,
option.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and it's
Pre podcast of us actually saying how everything actually is. Pre podcast, pre me going, I'm gonna take this route and say something because people aren't gonna say anything. But they're doing this to a lot of people.
well. Listen, I know there's always got to be a first time, right? There's always got to be a first time that you coach at a world championships, but there should also be like this step up. And we've seen, I mean, all four of those groups, it seems like all four of those individuals, whoop, right to the top, real fast. Like, no, I spent 2 years with juniors and 3 years with cadets, and I came to the Grand Prix. It's just shoop, right to the World Championships, right to the World Championships and coach one person, right to the Junior World Championships or your World Championships and coach 8 people. Like, which again, if that truly wasn't merit based, that you should have been there. So, are you telling me that if it's not merit based, it's these people have a unique special ability to enhance the performances of the athletes? And I'm just like, there's so many coaches that I can go from New York, from Washington State, from Texas, from all over this country that have been around, that have produced, that have understand the way the Grand Prix and World Championships and everything works, the way these referees interact, that could probably lend a helping hand to build that team. And they were just skipped over. I mean, I'm your biggest, fan, TJ. I mean, I know what kind of. Listen, I'm going to say it. Put you in a room with 40 athletes and put any one of those guys in a room with 40 athletes and let's see the quality of who can train and who can relate. It won't even be close. It's like a master class to a kindergartner. And that's just the truth. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, do it. I mean, it's so, and maybe, and I'm just saying you, but there might be, I look at Sang Cha. I'm going to go to Sang Cha. I'm going to give my man Sang Cha a little shout out today. I saw him post something on Hansel. Hansel's his student. And of course, he's probably proud of his student. And he's like, I'm so happy my student is on the world championship team, killing it. And I'm just like, first I was like, yeah, I get it. He's proud of his son. But then I'm like, damn, you're the creator. You're the inventor. You're the leader. And you can't get on the staff? You got to go to another country. You gotta coach for another country. Like, I'm sure he's happy for him. I don't know what he's killing on the staff. I mean, Hansel's a good dude. You know that. He's so respectful, so nice, passionate guy. I like him a lot. Do I think he's ready to go there right away in front of some other people? I don't. I mean, it's not nothing negative against him because, like I said, he's a good dude. That's like have a beer with guy, have a dinner with guy. Like he's a good man, young man. But I gotta call it out when I say like, what is this? Like, I mean, is it Steve Lambden bring him there? Because Steve Lambden's from Texas, and Steve Lambden got coached by Cha and that group, and that's where Hensel falls under. I mean, is that what's happening? Is it nepotism? I don't know. I mean, now I'm sounding, oh, don't call me a conspiracy theorist. But
That's
it just
not a
doesn't look right.
conspiracy, though. It doesn't look right. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't feel right. I mean, like I said, like my biggest thing is there's other people on the national team and people that have coached those kids on the national team for a long time, and some of them have high expectations and good abilities to go win, and we're putting with whoever. Like maybe they should just be with their home coach. Maybe we got to put more people that, like, if this is not something that matters, we got to figure out how to get more people there that can affect a single athlete. If that's what we're doing, I mean, we got people that we're sending to the World Championship for a single athlete. So if that's where the direction we're going, there's a lot more of those.
I mean, I think that would help build the community, not a damn call, putting people on a call. But getting back to your original point, that's messed up, TJ. I think you need to check into that a little bit and find out like, hey, why is my name not on? You don't want me? I don't know. Maybe they don't want you on the staff. Fine, but you should be entitled. If this call is a free call for people that aren't on the staff too, then damn, bro, you need to be on that staff. I mean, listen, TJ, I remember right before we started this podcast, you posted something, a real personal thing, and you put some things out there. And I think that's one of the things that spearheaded this. I know for a fact, even on USAT websites, that your name is not listed as a recent Olympic medalist, and other people are. Like, that's wrong. It's almost like they're white.
That was not even USA. I'm gonna take you one step further. That wasn't even USAT website. That was USOC website. But you can, what's his name? You see the person who wrote the article at the end. It's Jose, who's a part of their whole little crew too. Like there was a mention of before the 2024 Olympic Games. There's a mention of recent. Check this out, Grandmaster. There's a list of recent Olympic significant results. They talk about Anastasia getting her gold medal. They drop all the way down past 2016. Don't say anything about Jackie Galloway. All the way to 2012. They mentioned my teammate, our teammate. And obviously, Paige McPherson, she goes on to win three-time Olympian, plus her bronze medal in 2012. And there is zero mention of me. I'm in the same Olympic year as Paige, on the same team, from the same school, from the same coach, the last male in our country to have any color Olympic medal. Gold, silver, or bronze, we can argue over it amongst the people on the podium. But I'm talking about not even mentioning it, and I am the last one in our entire country. That's not significant at all. They're erasing history. They're literally, and it didn't make me mad. I told Coach Moreno right away, and I was talking about him a little bit, but I was like, you know what? I could almost take it. I can almost take it and go, I don't need anything from them. They don't need to acknowledge me. But when I start thinking about all the people that put into my journey, my mother, my father, my cousins, my family, my teammates, my coaches, for my name not to be there is so disrespectful to them. It's absurd. Yeah. Don't tell me it's not significant. You can't tell me it's not significant.
The USAT.
If you're gonna talk about 2012, the Olympic year at all.
It's not even that. They historically, I went back to look at one of those websites just for chuckles and giggles, and the amount of omissions and mistakes was astounding to me. And there's been a long time where they try to undo history because they don't like who made history. And there's I mean, you don't have to like who made history, but unless they killed somebody or molested a child, you can't undo history. And even in that case, you can put an asterisk unless they had steroid performance or something. So, but it just shows you the lack of, I think one of the most important things to remember about confidence and things of this nature is when somebody's insecure, when an organization's insecure, they're afraid to tell the truth because it just shows the reality. So, in a weird way, their omissions, whether it's about you, me, Coach Morano, whatever, it's very telling. Their lack of ability to recognize who created, who made, who did what. I still laugh at the fact that they think they forgot who created their coaching program. They forgot who created their high performance plan. They forgot the people who made their coaching program in general. So
They walk around like Taekwondo started when they got here, and that's what just it's like it just started when they showed up.
Yeah.
Taekwondo popped out of nowhere, and they're like, "Come train with us in Colorado. Now come train with us in North Carolina, and we're the best." Like, how did we get there? Like this country has so much good history and so many champions, and so much winning, and so many results.
But the only people that get hurt in this is the organization. So, I'm down here in Arizona. I'm going to do a seminar for a Taekwondo school down here. Whenever I go somewhere, I send out a note and see whatever. So the history lives on because people know who you are and what you do. But I guess the point is, when you think about everything and how they're doing, it's got to be kind of embarrassing for them to be that. I get that they have a bunch of non-performers running the organization. So when you talk about the coaches or these people, I'd have to go on the internet to search 3 out of those 4 names. I don't remember any of them. I don't know any of them. I don't remember any of them ever doing anything. I don't remember any of them doing anything of significance or whatever. And it brings me to my second point. I don't have any interest in coaching, but it would be interesting based on what you just said. Where do I fall in that mix? I coached the world championship team. I had 3 athletes on that team. I coached other teams. I was head of team. I was head of their coaching program. I created their coaching program. And I'm an Olympic gold medalist, World Cup gold medalist, Pan Am gold medalist, Pan Am Taekwondo Championship gold medalist, national team member for 8 years. So I put my name in the coaching hat. Where do I fall? Do you pick me or Chuck Hansel and Gretel? I mean, I don't have any interest in coaching because I wouldn't want to coach this style. I'm in a different stage in my life. But that would be an interesting conversation. Do I get an invite to the coaching call? Since I wrote the coaching program that they still use. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is again, that's a good point. It's talking about they act like Taekwondo started when they got here.
Oh yeah.
And it's I can't stand when they talk about how they're gonna run this sport in this country and how they're gonna develop it and how they're gonna get deep and they're gonna create. I mean, listen, I give the organization credit for creating a facility, creating a place where people can come together and train in a centralized training. I don't know that it's the greatest thing, but I give credit for that. I give them credit for creating a budget to pay those athletes. But it's instead of creating that for everybody, they create it only for themselves and only for a few select people. When I see, the kid that got a bronze medal in 80, it said, "Congratulations to U.S. national team, under 21 national team member, and Academy athlete." And I'm like,
I saw that.
That would be that. But again, they're marketing their program. They're promoting their program. If the little girl is going to fight tomorrow, good luck to, or congratulations to under 21 world champion and Via's Academy athlete, Eileen Torres. Would they ever do that? No, but they always do it. And so for me, they're segregating themselves. They're telling the rest of the organization, "You're not important. We are important." And you said it, TJ. These people that can get their top ranking, yes, they have to win, but it also helps when the organization is paying for them to go over and over and over. Who has an advantage? They have
And
an
then they lock
advantage.
out. But yes, so they're making all the rules, like you said before, and then you lock out divisions because someone's in the top 10. Like,
Yeah.
didn't they? When we go back to all these, and I hate saying the word pathways. When we go back to all these crazy pathways of things that have come, and you got to go to here to do this, and this will get you to here and do this, and we're doing this so it protects the domestic athletes and international athletes. And now all you've done is created a system that you're funding to block everyone out. We have, was it 4 or 5 male divisions going to be uncontested?
4, possibly 5.
Four,
4.
4 of our senior male divisions are going to be uncontested for team trials. The tournament they're going to go to is a Pan Am Championships, which all the points are going to be deleted right afterwards, correct?
Yes.
We are telling kids that went to our regionals and states and nationals and all that stuff and went through this entire system that now, because we funded people that train with us and we decided they were the ones, that you don't get to fight for a real spot at team trials. You can fight to be second. If you want to come and fight to be second, you fight to be second. Like, it's all rigged. You can't win. How can you win?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is, people, I think people know this. People talk about this behind closed doors, but nobody wants to talk about it in public. And I think it just needs to be, addressed because it's not getting better. It's not getting better. They can dress it up, put some fancy logos, put some fancy, marketing tools out there and stuff like that. I get it. All that stuff looks good. It looks really good. I'm impressed. I think it's cool to see, that stuff. I think it's good to make the public aware what Taekwondo is doing in this country. But the core of it is not getting better. The core of it is not growing. The core of it is not, it's not enticing to coaches to go ahead and help produce athletes. When they do all that stuff, they jump through all those hoops, they go through the pathways, TJ, and then they say, again, I feel so bad saying his name, Mr. Hansel, you come up. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
I've sat through their hours of coaching certification classes when they did it in Colorado. Like, I've done all those type of things too, and now it's this new thing, and you do this or you do this, but like you said, I don't know if the word uses nepotism, but it has to be. What's the other?
But even
how do we get there? How do we get there?
Why do you have to go through their coaching? Like, what do they call it? Coaching accelerator program. What coaching is? So I get to come and watch you guys train. Like, what if I'm doing just fine the way I am? Just fine the way I am. Matter of fact, I've had quite a few people from my personal club become athletes out there and win medals for them. And I must be doing something right. But I still have to go through the accelerator program. I got to go and bend the knee and kiss the ring. Like, for what? For what?
It's the bunny's nose.
For what?
So listen, the idea.
That's the only way they can. But that's the only way they can work with you. If you have to do and say what they want you to say and act how they want you to act, and like they don't really want an opinion. They want and back to that whole thing, like that whole thing of going our national instead of just saying national team member, saying academy team member, they're saying these are our results from our room, our academy, our system. These are our results. These aren't the country's results. You know what I mean?
You're right.
That's not the country's result. It's our result. It's look what we're doing. It's been like that since the beginning. When we were back in the day and Jason Poos and then walking around to, they're filming and doing things that all the academy athlete kicking US people in the face and posting and like, look at us. We're doing this great thing by beating everybody else up. Like, it's all backwards and it's been backwards for so long.
So
that's true.
It's important to remember, right? And this is where they lost the plan. And this is where the USOC is responsible. So when you develop a sport or you develop anything, the pathway and the high performance plan are outlined by the sport and then overseen by the U.S. Olympic Committee with oversight to say yes, no, and or fund it. At the point where the parent organization, which has 45 NGBs to handle, USOC, loses the script and doesn't hold people accountable for their high performance plan, or they don't look at it in depth. And part of that problem was that they got rid of most of the volunteer leadership and it became staff driven. And Jay Warwick is a product of that staff, and that staff, he worked on both sides of that fence. Then you lose your way, because now what you don't have is a consistent pathway to develop coaches. In USA Soccer, for example, there's a pathway for soccer coaches to become developed, and they got to follow X, Y, and Z. They don't ever even see an opportunity lest they go through the steps and stuff. And they have a very developed pathway to try to find and identify coaches and then train them and then maybe give them opportunities in the various categories of coaching. And that's the same on a club team or whatever. I don't know anything about basketball, but what I can say is USAT doesn't have a coach's development pipeline. It has a club. And if you belong to the club and if you bring cookies to the show and you're willing to buy beers once in a while, then you get to be part of the club. And if the particular coach doesn't like you because you can't say tissue, like the British people say, tissue, then you can't be part of the club. Or, you know, they erase history of people that have been part of the club. When you have a performance culture, though, you may not like or love the person that's performing, but, you know, Bella Caroli performed. You know, that,
Listen,
you know.
there's a gymnastic coach that you know him, TJ. This guy Daniel Leyva. He's a two-time Olympian, two-time silver medalist. He's from Miami. His mother's gym is literally right across, and his father had a gym as well. And it's funny because I talked to the USOC people, and they're like, "He's nuts. He's crazy. He's got this wild style," but they're like, "There's a method to his madness." He hasn't gone through any of their. Of course, he has to go through their background checks and protocol and that kind of stuff. But as far as their systematic of how they train, no, he's way different.
Yeah.
But he produces athletes,
Yeah.
and there's a method. I ran into him in Doha on the way back from Thailand. I'm sitting in Doha, and I'm sitting across from this guy, and he's speaking Spanish, and I go, that guy's Cuban. Didn't think much of it. He stands up, turns around, he's got a shirt on, and I'm like, I go, Mr. Leyva? And he's like, I'm like, Juan, the Taekwondo guy. He's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, damn, we're halfway across the world, but he was coaching at a junior world championships in the Philippines. And I was, thinking like this. This guy didn't do their accelerator program. Didn't. Again, I do know you should go through certain protocols. When you're on representing a national team, you should dress a certain way, attend to certain things. You got to have a certain amount of decorum to be on that. To be part of that staff. But my point is, when it comes to training and coaching these athletes, this guy has a method. It may not be Bella Caroli's method, not to cross the two, but whoever the national team coach is. So I don't know. Just getting back to the original thing, it's crazy that you can't be on a damn list to call what to call. I would like to see.
This is the second year. The first year I applied, it was a little bit longer. They asked you, where you coached at, your results as an athlete. They asked, it was a few more questions. It was like 6 questions this time, but there was no response from last year either.
Who did they accept into the coaching thing? Did they have a team?
I just know because I saw the email list, and I don't know how many they added, but the person that they added wasn't on the list at first. So there's been
my point is they had this search last year.
Who did they add? Who are
the coaches? Yeah, no. Who are the coaches that are on their staff?
I would assume the ones that are coaching at the under-21s and world championships now and going to the cadets. I'm
gonna assume not. You know why? Because they never named those people. They never said we would like to welcome Mr. Nicky, Miss Nikki, Mr. Hanzo, Mr.
Yeah, but that's not how they work. No. We just show up and we see who's on the only reason we know who's on the coaching staff is because if I look on Simply Compete or I just wait to watch a video and see who's on the team as a coaching staff, you never know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming those guys are all on the call or have been in the system some kind of way.
I just never know how, they've since the beginning dominating 28. Obviously we're 2 years away. There's no way we're going to dominate. There's no way. It's impossibility to dominate. Could we have some good results? Probably. But to think that you're going to have this thing where everybody goes, wow, USA, like they did with Turkey at the World Championships. Whoa, Turkey's the number 1 team in the world. Quite honestly, Brazil, whoa, 4 finals, 2 gold, 2 silver. Well, it was a big coming out. There's nothing on the horizon that looks that USA is going to do that. And here we are 7, 8 years into the program, 7 years into the program. And I don't know. It's a little disheartening. It's strange when I see this World Championship staff. I don't know. I feel bad for the athletes because at the end of the day, Herb, you said it. You know who suffers at the end of this? The pipeline. The moms, the dads, all the different supporters. They're the ones that suffer from this. These guys go home. They got their. You always say it. They got their flights. They got their hotels. They got their their salaries. They don't live and die if the kids win or lose. They're just like, we did our best. Let's go home.
I don't know.
And let's have some ice cream.
I know we like I said, we always joke about, first, second, and third and Olympic medals and, trying to get world medals and all that good stuff like that. But when I think about my coaching staffs that I was on, or not coaching staff, the teams I was on as an athlete, I always had coaches that had been through the system that I'm currently trying to go through. These guys had fought the world championships. They had previously, and again, you said you got to coach for your first time somewhere, but the level of expertise in the room, and like we joke, like I was able to hold on and get third place and kind of get my way in. And I don't think I was amazing, but I was pretty good for my time. But that was because I was guided. I knew what was going on. I had complete trust in the people that are in the ring with me. I mean, a lot of these guys are going through it for the first time at the same time the kids are going through it. And again, like you said, I know you got to coach
Some of these
somewhere for
kids
the
are
first
some of
time.
these kids are some of these kids have more experience than that as coaching staff. Let's not kid ourselves. Some of these kids are better than the coaching staff. I'm for real. I mean, they might not want to believe that, but that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah, I think I was just very fortunate. So maybe I was lucky or fortunate, or it was by design, which I assume it was by design because, you think of it and I don't think we ever had, dude. No, it just didn't happen before. It never happened before like this. This is a new era of something I'm seeing and learning in front of me. I feel like we always had predominantly strong figures on our national team. And I'm not saying that anyone's strong or not strong. Take it how you want to take it, but we had a lot of clout on our coaching staff, and especially at any event that was tied to a world championships. The big dogs were there. The guys, they were there. It's a world championship. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just my thought.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Listen, again, I know we kind of got off on a tangent, talking about the world championships, this under 21 and the level and the people and the outstanding performances for some of these countries. And there's a couple that I think have a chance to be double world champions, But when it comes to coaching, and I brought up the staff because I have to be, fair for some of my critiques in the past. But, to hear you not be able to be on a call, to hear guys like you. And again, there's some other coaches. I mean, I don't want to mention their names right now, but I look around. I'm not dumb. I mean, I can give credit where credit's due, and I see where some of these coaches from Washington State, some of these coaches from Texas, some of these coaches from New York, they're doing a good job and they're producing people. And when they don't get a sniff at the job, they're not even in the conversation. When there's historically people like you that have asked, that want, that people have requested, you can't even be a trainer, can't even be a water boy, you gotta be a scout. Like it's just I have to ask the question, do we truly want to get better? Are we truly providing an environment for our young athletes to flourish? My answer is no, because they're going through it, like you said, the first time. It's like, I mean, I'm not proud. I went to, 2 Olympic Games and didn't sit in the chair. I scouted. I held targets.
That's crazy.
I freaking ran and got water.
The
I mean, I'm
difference.
talking like I was a slave boy, but I was part of a staff, and I knew, what? That's what makes me a good head coach right now, because I know there's roles for everybody, and there's certain roles that they might seem little, but they're so important to the overall success. And that's what I do with my group in Brazil and the other, people that I work with. But I took a process. I didn't just go sit in the chair. I did the right thing and played my role. And and you know what, TJ, when you are getting into the repechage, when Paige gets, the hometown person first match, when you get Servette, the world number one, the world champion, the monster of all monsters, first match, we didn't flinch. We didn't even flinch. Because I've been there before. And look, if I was all fucking shaking and nervous, you would have been like, damn, my coach don't even know what to do. Come on, man. There's levels to this stuff. And I think we're doing a disservice to the athletes, We need to provide them with a better structure. Yeah. Anyway. Wow. Sorry for the rant, Grandmaster Perez. We made you quiet today. Sorry.
I'm just listening because I talk on this subject a lot, and I have my own thoughts on what they do wrong and how they do it wrong. But at the end of the day, it's wrong. No matter how you look at it, it's wrong. And how do you fix it? Well, got to change the leadership. And if you don't change the leadership, then You got to change. But we had a long list of stuff. We're already at an hour. Do you guys want to try to get to all of that?
We'll finish up. No,
We're gonna.
we'll wrap it up for today. I think we've had a good little good little run here. But we'll listen. We only have a couple more before the end of the year and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm going to try my best. I hope you guys will like hold me to it, like to to be that voice for the people. Because quite honestly, people can't. I mean, TJ, we've heard this, privately, like I have to do this or I have to do that or I can't say this, I can't say that because this and this will happen. It's a shame that political pressures and things like that happen within the sport. It can't just be who wins and who loses. So I'm going to be that person. Sorry, not sorry. Warehouse 15, whatever the hell you want to put, saying it. That's my mission for this right now, guys. That's really my mission.
We're gonna get.
I think you said something. Like I said, you said something the other day. If not, it has to be said. It's we either choose to do something. I think we've entered this point in our sport where we talk a lot. You said it's always the background conversations. It's always this, and it's said underneath, but never really said out loud. And we just kind of accept it and we just keep moving with it. And some people figure it out. Some people end up on the right side and some people end up on the left side. Some people get a little piece of the cookie. The other people just stay on the outside, but nobody really says anything. And I don't think we are in a good place right now. I don't think it is right now. I don't think it makes any sense right now. And like I said, from my side of it, even the fact of just, like you said, trying to erase history and act like, pretending that things didn't happen. And like there was, like, how do you even do that? Like, these are people who have sat behind a computer, used the camera a little bit, got a little contract, wrote an article, and decided, look at me, let me not put someone's accomplishments in a sport that they've grown up in on the website, on the USOC website. When you talk about significant medal counts and significant wins and influential people in the program, like it's absurd. It's absurd. And again, if you do it to someone at this level, and it's not just me, obviously we know what the deal is. I know what the deal is. You know what I mean? But if they were doing it at this level, nobody has a chance. These guys don't have a chance. If you're not in that room, you're put to the fire. You're put to the side. You make that national team. They don't care whether you win or lose. Like, we have so much talent on that under 21 team. I don't think it was utilized, and I think it does fall on the coaching staff a little bit.
It's almost a damn near national team on the men's side.
Yeah.
It's almost a national team. It's almost our national team, and they should be. We got 2 medals. Chance to get 1 more tomorrow, or 2 more. 2 more.
I think there's 3 divisions tomorrow, right? 4.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But, like, listen, some of our big guns didn't get medals. Some on the women's side. I mean, big guns are expected medals on the women's side. Came up with some donuts, and the men, we dropped a few. I mean, we had 2 quarterfinal matches on men's that didn't get medals. I mean, that's respectable, but again, like you said, they almost got to, when you're at that level, this 21 supposed to be a little bit lower than you. You got to get through. You got to get at least on the podium. If not, it's got to be considered a bad. You know what? I'll say this, and I know people won't like it. It's got to be considered a bad drop. I watch football. I watch basketball. They go, that's a bad loss. That's a good loss. That's a bad win. That's a good loss. You know what I'm saying? Like they quantify it like that. I mean, sometimes, when the Buffalo Bills lost to the Dolphins, that's a bad loss. I mean, the Dolphins were horrible at that time. Yes, they played big, and yes, you guys had a bunch of mistakes. That's a bad loss. A team of that quality can't lose to the Dolphins. And for this group that we had there, I think you almost had to get on the medal standard. Most of them.
I mean, some of them have a good performance before. The 54 kid, Ethan, he got silver at the university games. So he's not unfamiliar to this age level of 21 and under. Like, he ran deep to the finals at these events. So it is it's not a good drop. I mean, for me, he's got to get on the podium too. 54, 58, 68, 74. Like we can sit and say 80. There's 80, they're supposed to get on the podium.
Yeah.
It's just very simple.
Good point.
But anyways, like I said, I guess we'll save the other stuff for next time.
Yeah, next week we'll have another one. Let's get at it. Love you guys.
Later.
All right, gentlemen.
Give us a send off.
Later. Sorry, not sorry.
Peace.
Been an auspicious morning here at the Warehouse 15. We had a moment of prayer and understanding before we got on, and I shared something very special with TJ. But welcome to the Warehouse 15. We are here, we are back, and as we say, the disclaimer always goes, sorry, not sorry. because we are absolutely certain to say something that you might enjoy or might offend you, or hopefully combination of both. What's up, Mr. TJ?
What's up, Sash? Just recovering from our morning prayer. I'm
There we go. Good, good. We don't want to. We're going to keep that one
great start
inside
to
the
the day.
house. Great start to the
Great
day.
start to the day.
So like they say, there are things that you see that you can never unsee. What are you doing, Mr. Moreno, Coach Moreno?
Yo, I'm gonna go to therapy after this call because yeah, some
I
things you
just don't.
can't
I don't want
unsee.
to see
But
any complaints from HR, right? So just so you know,
nah, and
TJ's
the
HR.
HR, the HR at Warehouse 15 is sorry, not sorry. So we have to
There
take
you
our own
go.
medicine.
There,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
We gotta live by our own standards. So that's a
I told you
Well, I
this
mean,
before, and TJ, you told me the other day, bro. I've got so many people that come up, sorry, not sorry. That's like their tagline. I feel like some kind of like mini celebrity people like want to say like, hey, sorry, not sorry, and I'm just like, yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, you're watching the podcast. Pretty funny, actually.
that's a nice
I love it.
shirt. That's a nice shirt you got on. Where'd you get that shirt?
This old
that
school
was a
right here,
good one.
baby.
That's an
This
old one, a good one.
OG. That's an
Let me
I
OG.
try
check.
to get him to.
Let me check. I
I try
gotta
to get him
check.
to remake those so many
You
times.
need to have some of these.
Let me call the
You
front
need to.
desk again and see if. Yeah, hello. Did my shirt arrive yet? Not. All right, then it's not here
Sorry,
yet.
not
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, that's a good
Come
one.
on. Now.
All
This
right. Well, I know
this OG.
we got a lot to get to, so we got a large agenda today. I am in
Yeah,
Arizona doing all things Arizona. I was with the former CEO of the Olympic Committee, one of the most successful men in history in sport, and the creator of our Olympic model, Dr. Harvey Schiller. He's spending
yeah.
about 10 months out of
Gang.
here. Then I heard Tony Graff is going to be here.
Yeah, he's there for some one of his. Yeah, he's there.
What's he doing? Is he doing his shaman thing, or what is he doing?
No, he's got a. I guess there's a retreat. Like there's a guy that's kind of a mentor to some people and stuff like that. Kind of a Tony Robbins type of guy. And so
Oh,
he doesn't actually work with the guy, but his buddy brought him out there. Paul Malella from New York utilizes this gentleman, pays him like six figures a year as a mentor. I mean, he's like a big guy, big